Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. How are you kids? Back to our science lesson. What do you think about starting by watching this video?
Hi, I'm Retta. I was just wondering, what is the most important part of the club?
Okay, everybody to their stations. Haley, what do you got?
All right. Plants are living things. Most of them have roots, stems, and leaves.
And take a look at this. The roots anchor the plant to the soil where it takes up water and nutrients. And the stem holds up the plant and carries water and nutrients to the leaves. And the leaves are where photosynthesis takes place. The plant makes its own food in there using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. And then the stems carry food to other parts of the plant. And some plants have flowers that make seeds, and when those seeds get planted, a new plant grows. It's a cool life cycle. Whoa! The board is going crazy! All these plant parts can look really different depending on where the plant lives.
Rob? Hey, Rob.
Look, hey, take a look at this. You see, a plant has roots, stems, and leaves, all so that it can survive. But does it need all of this? Well, what if I were to do this? Oh, ha, no roots. Oh, but wait.
Can the plant live without roots? Hey kids, can the plant live without roots? What is the function of the root for the plant?
A plant needs that for water and nutrients to survive.
Yes, you heard. The plant needs the roots to move in water, to take in water and nutrients.
Well, that won't work. But what if I did this? There we have it. A stem and roots, but no leaves. Oh, but wait. Leaves are good for photosynthesis. Ah, well, this won't work. Okay, here's a new plant. Now, what if it didn't have a stem? See? No stem. But that's just plain ridiculous. Well, you see, a plant needs all of its parts to survive and be healthy. So I can't tell you what's the most important. Okay, back to you at the clubhouse. Wait a second. Who's in the clubhouse?
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Hey, Haley, you ready?
Ready, Jonas? Okay. We know that photosynthesis takes place in the leaves. But what color of light or wavelength in the visible spectrum will allow photosynthesis to take place the fastest? Let's go. I used a hole puncher to cut out discs from this leaf, and then I submerged them in water until they sank using a little bit of baking soda. Now, when I put a light source on these guys, they should start to rise because oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis. So let's see what happens. I'll record how many discs float to the top of each cup every 30 seconds for 3 minutes. Then see what happens. Cool. Wonder if there's another way we can explain this.
Howdy, 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 ooh. How do you grow? How do you grow? How do you make that Bugatti? How do you turn into a tree? I really only want to know. Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you grow? How do you grow? I'm gonna tell you. I have some leaves to fix the sun, then let the energy come in. So carbon dioxide too, and then a little some water coming up through my roots. Then up to the stem and comes on in. Mix sugar gives off oxygen. Hidey, 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 hidey. Grow to the sky, grow to the sky. I store sugar in my fruits and make more leaves and stems and roots. Then you can eat them if you care. I'll just make more and more share. I'll just make more and more share.
Well, all the parts of a plant are really important, so we can't just pick one. That's the most important.
All the parts of a plant work together to perform the functions a plant needs to survive.
But all the parts of a plant can look really different depending on where the plant lives.
And until next time, never stop exploring your world.
Are you getting the hang of this yet?
No, I have no idea.
We're still going to be back.
What does this button do?
I'll just push it.
All right. Back to our book. Please open page 130. We have the heading of parts of a flower. I want you to look more closely to this picture of that flower. Look, a flower has many parts. One of those parts is responsible of making pollen. I'll tell you later what is pollen, but I will tell you now about the other part of the flower, which is petals. These are the petals, the reddish part here. Those are the petals. All right, those petals, they produce aroma or smell that attracts animals and other insects to the flower. But what is the role of these insects or other animals? They help the flower to pollinate. They help the flower to pollinate. What's the meaning of pollen and pollinate? Pollen is yellow grains or yellow powder made in this part of the flower, made in the tip of this flower, okay, the very high part. All right, and when an insect or an animal comes to this part of the flower to find food, now the pollen are sticked to its body, and it can now pollinate this part of the same flower, or it can pollinate other flowers, or maybe it can fly to distant gardens and pollinate more flowers. Pollinate means carry pollen too. I carry pollen too. So pollen, it's the yellow grains or the yellow powder made in this part of the flower, and pollinate, it's the verb from pollen. They carry pollen to this part and to other flowers. Once the pollination is done here in this part, the seeds start to appear. They start to appear. This is called pollination. Pollination happens when animals or wind move pollen to the part of the flower that makes seeds. After pollination, seeds form. The seeds form where? They form near to the center of the flower. Also, a fruit may be produced around the seed to protect it. It is produced around the seed to protect it. Now, I want you to think, what are the fruits that we eat and has a seed inside? Like what? Like, for example, watermelon, like peach, like apple. Give me examples, okay? Or think about examples of fruits that have seeds inside. All right, now let's read together. Parts of a flower. The flowering plant grows flowers, which is normal, and these flowers make seeds. Flowers have different parts, as we said. They have part that makes pollen, we said where, and another part, which is the petals, they attract bees and other animals to the flower. All right? Now the important word here is what? Look, pollinate. It's a verb from pollen. And we said before, if we don't know a meaning of a new word, you look just next to it. Maybe you will find the synonym. Yes, pollinate means carry pollen to another flower. Pollination happens when animals or wind move pollen to the part of the flower that makes seeds. After pollination, seeds form. And also, the fruit may be produced around the seed to protect it. Okay, easy information? I hope it is. Now we'll move to question number 4. Where is it? Can't find it. Okay, we can find it just beside and just next to the part of summarize. What is the function of one part of a flower? What is the function of one part of a flower? A part of a flower attract bees to pollinate the plant. They attract bees to pollinate the plant. What is this part? This part is called petals. The petals attract bees to pollinate the plant. Did you write it? Did you write it now? In number 4. This is for this part. Now, how seeds grow? How seeds grow? I want to show you something. Let's see, did you make this experiment or not? Did you make this experiment? Look.
What do you think is inside this bean seed? Let's find out. We can use a plastic knife to split the bean seed in half. We can use a hand lens to get a closer look at the inside of the seed.
All right, let's watch this.
Some plants, such as the peach tree, reproduce using flowers. The petals attract bees and other animals to the flower. Pollen sticks to the bodies of bees as they look for food. Animals and wind can pollinate or carry pollen to another flower. After pollination, seeds form near the center of the flower, and a fruit grows around the seed to protect it. After the fruit falls to the ground, the seed inside may grow into a new plant.
Very good. Very good. This is what we have explained in an interesting way. Now let's see this.
When plants make more of the same kind, they reproduce. For example, maple trees produce seeds that can grow into new maple trees. In order for the seeds to germinate or begin to grow, the seeds need air, the right amount of water, and the right temperature. After a seed is produced, it might scatter or move away from the parent plant. This gives the new plant more room to grow. Flowering plants reproduce by growing flowers that can make seeds. One part of a flowering plant makes the pollen, and another part, the petals, attracts bees and other animals to the flower. Pollination happens when pollen is moved to the part of the flower that makes seeds. Animals or wind can pollinate or carry pollen to the part of the flower that makes seeds. After pollination, seeds form near the center of the flower. Conifer plants are different. They grow cones instead of flowers to make seeds.
Okay, we'll stop this video at this point. Now we will proceed with the page 131 to explain how seeds grow. Now, if you look to this bean, this part of the bean is called, the dark brown part is called seed coat. Seed coat. What do you think the role of this seed coat? I want you to imagine yourself without a coat in the winter. How would you feel without it? You are not protected from the wind and air. What about the bean? The seed coat for the seed coat for the bean has the same function. It protects the bean. What is important inside the bean to be protected? What do you think? You remember in page 129 when we said that inside the bean some food are stored from the parent plant. Some food are stored from the parent plant. And what else? We said also that the bean, inside the bean there is information from the mother plant. We talked about the characteristics of the plant itself, like a seed of a peach tree. When it grows, it will not be an orange tree. It will still be a peach tree. It cannot be a watermelon plant. It will be peach tree because it's a seed that carry or has the information from the parent plant. So inside the bean there is two things: the food stored from the mother plant and the information from its parent. This part is called developing plant leaf. Developing plant leaf. All right. If we were in our class, you would be very, very happy seeing your seeds are germinating and the small leaves are shown on the very small stem. But unfortunately, when you're back, inshallah, it will be a very high tree. Now let's read together this part. How seeds grow. The heading, how seeds grow. Seeds have different shapes, sizes, and colors. This what we know. All seeds have the same parts. Every seed has material inside it that can grow into a new plant. The seed is covered by a seed coat. The seed coat protects this material. Many seeds have one seed leaf or two seed leaves. So how this bean or this seed will grow if I put it into right conditions? What are those right conditions in the first place? Those right conditions are air, seeds need air, right amount of water, air, right here, right amount of water, and the right temperature to germinate. Oh, germinate is a highlighted word, which I have to memorize it. What's the meaning of germinate? Who's smart enough to tell me? Yes, begin to grow. This is a scientific expression that we should memorize. Germinate or begin to grow. With the right conditions, the young plant or seedling. Seedling, I can say seedling when it is a very small plant that in process of growing. Like we say, for example, chicken and chicks. The chicks are the baby chicken. When we say the young, instead of saying the young plant, we can use this new word seedling. With the right condition, the young plant or seedling germinates. The seedling uses food stored. Yes, this is what we said when we were talking about the picture above. Now we will explain the cycle of the plant when it grows, what happens. This paragraph, it's not very important. It's just telling you what you already know. We may read it fast. As the seedling grows, it grows out of the soil, which is normal because we know that the stem usually grow heading to the sunlight. So it grows out of the soil. Leaves grow from the stem. The leaves use sunlight to make sugar. The plant uses the sugar for food. The seedling can grow into an adult plant that has flowers. The flowers are pollinated, and so on. They are pollinated into, then the seeds form. Then when I put it into right conditions of air, right amount of water, and right temperature, they will germinate, and the cycle begins again and again and again. Last thing we will do in this video is to answer question number 5. It's not here. Okay, I will read it. You have it just in page 131. Look at the illustration of the seed. Why do you think the seed coat is important? I said it, isn't it? I said it. Look at the illustration of the seed. You will look at the picture of the seed. Alright? Why is the seed coat important? It is useful in what way? I'll leave you a second to find a suitable answer. Yes, to protect the food stored from the parent plant to protect the food stored from the parent plant. Thank you for now. See you later, inshallah. Study your lesson, play sometimes, and study other times. I want you to review the highlighted words. They are very important. Till now we learned about reproduce, pollen, pollinate, pollination, and the new word of today is germinate. Germinate. Okay, thank you very much, kids. See you inshallah next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.